Living in a hotel like this for 10 months is not acceptable. Being cooped up in a room, very often it's days spent on the bed.
Home is now a hotel room.
Living normally is so much effort. You can't operate normally because you don't have all the functions in the home that you normally have, so you just cannot function fully.
Tomassina and her 4-year-old son have been sharing this bed for almost 10 months, and it's having an effect on his health.
And I can see impact such as what I think it's regression. You know, he's using baby language, which he never did before. He was always very articulate. He's using shorter sentences, whereas he was using more complex ones. In terms of his emotional independence, he's really regressed on that. He can't fall asleep without me. He's waking up at night. He's having nightmares. It's very worrying, and you feel guilty as a mother. You know, you feel like you're not fulfilling your role, and that's when I realise that that's not my fault. It's the situation I'm in. Then it just makes me angry with the council.
This boy among the 32 children displaced by Grenfell, still living in hotels.
It's not ideal because the environment isn't stimulating enough for the child.
Dr. Mark Rackley is a psychologist who works with young patients.
Children cope very well with stability and having a bit of regularity and feeling secure. Living in a hotel is it's transient, so that's not helpful for a child to feel stable. And also children need a home, and it's quite difficult to make a home out of a hotel room.
Tomassina was evacuated from her flat that neighboured Grenfell as it was inside the police cordon. And how are you coping?
It's becoming harder, to be honest. There's no peace, there's no closure, there's no way to move on. And, you know, I'm in therapy, I'm on medication. It's really difficult. I don't know how to describe it. I do consider myself to be quite strong as a person, but this is really testing me.
A lot of people say that, you know, what are you moaning about? You're living in a hotel.
No, there's no way to cook. I can't heat up food either downstairs for health and safety reasons. They don't allow me to bring food in because it could contaminate the restaurant. It's not at all luxury, no. I feel really restricted. It's upsetting when people think that we're living it up when actually it's not a normal life. We're not operating as normal people at the moment. It's like being in prison. It's starting to feel like that.
A spokesperson for the council said, "We have staff working round the clock doing everything they can to rehouse families as quickly as possible and support them in rebuilding their lives."
I need closure. I need to be able to move on, you know, to put an end to this. But for me, the fire's not over. The aftermath isn't over. And I know it's for a lot of us, we can't begin healing and moving forward because we're still in it. It's just becoming harder and harder to deal with. And the impact is increasing day by day.
Tomorrow, 10 months will have passed since the fire. But for too many, it'll mark another day without a home. Rags Martel, ITV News.